Nova Scotia just published the clearest immigration priority list this province has released in years, and the priority list is wider than it was 6 months ago. If you've been waiting for real signal on the Nova Scotia nominee program, April 27th is the day you got one. Hi, I'm Bella. I'm a regulated immigration consultant here based in Nova Scotia. I've been watching this program closely for a while, and what the province published on April 27th is the most operationally useful update they've released in a long time. It's not perfect news for everyone, but for a lot of people, it's better news than the headlines suggest. Let me show you why. Let's start with what this update actually is. Back in July 2025, Nova Scotia's stated priorities were 3 words: healthcare, social services, construction. That was it. 3 buckets, no detail on which occupations inside those buckets actually qualified, no clarity on whether you need to be in the province or abroad, no information about tier levels. That kind of vague signal makes it almost impossible to plan a file, right? You're guessing. What the province published on April 27th is completely different. 3 tiers, specific NOC major groups named directly. Tier levels spelled out, geographical eligibility, international versus in Canada, defined explicitly for each tier. This is the most operationally useful priorities framework Nova Scotia has put out in years. Add to that, starting May the 1st, every expression of interest in the pool now has a 12-month expiry date. And that sounds like bad news at first. But think about what it actually does. The province is clearing out years of stale profiles that were never going to be selected and opening up rooms for fresh, qualified candidates. The pool refreshes itself. If you are a strong current profile, that's a tailwind, not a headwind. Tier 1 is where most channels are stopping their analysis. Healthcare and skilled trades open to applicants both inside and outside Canada. If you are a registered nurse, a physician, a pharmacist, a paramedic, a personal support worker, you are exactly the profile this tier was built for. Same goes for the 13 compulsory certified trades and the 54 red seal trades: electricians, plumbers, welders, carpenters, heavy-duty mechanics. Tier 1 covers Tier 0 through Tier 4, which is broader than most provincial programs allow for trades. And here's what's genuinely good about Tier 1. International applicants are still in the conversation. You don't need to be physically in Nova Scotia to be considered. The province queries the Federal Express entry pool regularly for these profiles. If you're abroad with a healthcare credential or a trade ticket, the work is to make sure that your Federal Express entry profile is sharp. Language scores done, ECA done, NOC alignment clean, and let the system find you. Now, here's where I disagree with how most people are reading this update. Tier 2 is where the province expanded their priorities, and almost nobody is talking about it that way. 6 months ago, the only social services signal Nova Scotia gave was that one phrase, very vague. Now look at what's actually named in Tier 2. 4 major occupational groups, and they cover a lot of ground. NOC Major Group 2 includes engineers, software developers, IT professionals, chemists. Major Group 4 includes teachers, social workers, early childhood educators, and lawyers. And Group 8 include farm managers, fishermen, mining technicians. And Group 9 include manufacturing supervisors, shipbuilding roles, and utility managers. That is a much wider net than social services, and that's most of the province's professional and skilled industrial workforce. If you've been working in any of these fields in Nova Scotia on a temporary work permit or post-graduation work permit, the province just officially put your occupation on the priority list. Now, the catch, and I'll be straight about it. Tier 2 is restricted to people already living and working in Nova Scotia. If you are abroad in one of these occupations, you're not in scope for Tier 2 right now. The pathway to consider instead is Federal Express entry, especially if your profile fits the STEM, healthcare, or trades category-based draw. But for temporary residents already here, this is great news. The province expanded who they are willing to nominate, and they put it in writing. That's a meaningful shift from where we were last summer. If you're already in Nova Scotia in one of those Tier 2 occupations and you're trying to figure out whether your file is competitive against the new priorities, that's exactly the type of question a strategy session is built for. Link in the description. Let's keep going. Tier 3 and Tier 5 are next, and the framing is different again. Tier 3 is the narrowest tier. Business roles, finance, retail supervisors, hospitality management, anything not in Tier 1 or Tier 2. Tier 3 is restricted to Tier 0, 1, and 2 only, and it's only open to people already living and working in Nova Scotia. I want to be straight about this tier. The province used the word limited deliberately. It means yes, you can submit an expression of interest, and no, selection is not likely to be frequent. Healthcare and trades will absorb most of the allocation, and that's by design. But here's the part that's still good news. 6 months ago, you wouldn't have known where you stood. Now you do. If you're in Tier 3, the province has effectively told you not to put all your eggs in Nova Scotia nominee program. Running a parallel express entry application is worth considering. Canadian experience class can be a good fit for in-Canada professionals in this category. Knowing that early saves you months of waiting on a profile that may not have moved. That kind of clarity has real value. There's one group I want to address directly because the framing is genuinely different for them. Tier 5 workers. Tier 5, food counter attendants, kitchen helpers, light duty cleaners, harvesting laborers, delivery drivers, etc. is excluded from all 3 tiers. There's no provincial pathway right now for this skill level through Nova Scotia nominee program. I'm not going to pretend that's good news. It isn't. But it's not the end of the conversation either. The Atlantic Immigration Program still allows Tier 4 and Tier 5 work experience with 2 real conditions. Your employer needs to be formally designated by the province, and the language requirement is CLB 5 in English or French. Those are real bars, and not everyone clears them. So if this is your situation, your question shifts. Is not how do I fix my Nova Scotia nominee program file, is AIP realistic with my current employer, or am I looking at a different province, a study pathway, or a spousal pathway? Those are real questions with real answers, but they are case specific. Quick checklist for anyone with an expression of interest already in the pool. If you submitted your expression of interest before May the 1st, 2024, your profile was purged on May 1st, 2026. The April 27 priorities apply now. Resubmitting only makes sense if your profile fits the new framework. If you submitted between May 2024 and April 30th, 2026, your expression of interest stays active until next year. If you submitted on or after May 1st, 2026, you have a 12-month clock from your submission date. Here's how I think about that 12-month rule. It's not punishment. Is the province saying we want a current pool of qualified, motivated candidates, not a graveyard of profiles people forgot that they submitted? If your profile is strong against the April 27th priorities, this is a faster, fairer system than the one we had before. So here's what I take from April 27th. Nova Scotia gave you a clearer map than they've given in years. If you're in Tier 1, healthcare or trades, NSNP is a real pathway to focus on. If you're in Tier 2 and already in the province, your occupation is now formally on the priority list. If you're in Tier 3 or Tier 5, the path forward exists, but it isn't through NSNP alone. If you want help figuring out where your specific case lands and what to do next, book a consultation session. Link in the description and pinned in the comments. We'll walk you through your situation directly. And if this video helped you, share it with one person who's been waiting for a clear update on Nova Scotia. And subscribe for more videos like this where I give clear, actionable immigration advice.